In case you missed it, in our last episode, we left Valdosta, Georgia, and drove to the land between the lakes
Turn
in
left
Kentucky.
on Forest Service Road 110. In 1/4 mile, arrive at LBLNRA, Hillman Ferry.
We had camped here 2 years ago on our first trip to Alaska and enjoyed it very much, so we planned on spending a couple of days here on this trip. We got a nice pull-through site with full hookups. It's always nice to have full hookups, isn't it? Even though it was a heavily shaded area, we still got terrific Wi-Fi with Starlink. After setting up and taking a pleasant rest, we fulfilled a bucket list item with a visit to Metropolis, Illinois, home of Superman.
So, what do you think of this place, Jane? Real tourist trap or what?
No, it's cool.
It's cool, isn't it?
Brings back childhood memories.
In this episode, we leave Catawba, Kentucky and head northwest. Our destination is Finger Lake State Park in Missouri. Today's drive is 351 miles, our longest day on the journey so far. We get an early start, leaving Land Between the Lakes shortly before 9 a.m. We drive past St. Louis with its famous Gateway to the West, the magnificent arch that we visited 2 years ago on our first trip to Alaska. I'll place a link in the information box below to our video of our visit to St. Louis. Our plan is to travel across South Dakota on Interstate 90 so that we can make a stop at the wall at the Buffalo Gap National Grasslands just outside of Badlands National Park. We passed through there also in 2022 and saw many RVers boondocking out on the prairie. It looked so cool, but we didn't have time to stop and camp. Our friend Robert Morales, Traveling Robert as you know him, stopped there in 2022 and raved about the BLM camping there, so it is on our to-do list on this trip. But there is a problem. To get there, our route includes extensive driving on Interstate 29. Recent heavy rain has inundated the Midwest with serious flooding and has caused large portions of I-29 and most of the surrounding roadways throughout Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota. We will have to decide whether to try to continue past Omaha or cancel our South Dakota stop and reroute to Interstate 80, traveling across Nebraska into Wyoming. That was the route we took in 2022. The next couple of days hopefully brings drier weather to the region, and hopefully the flooding subsides. We arrive at Finger Lakes State Park just after 5 p.m. It's been a long, nearly 9-hour drive from Kentucky with plenty of intermittent rain showers. We check in at the gate and are informed that major storms are predicted for the night, including tornado watches. The campground is set deep within the park, which is perhaps 6 miles away from Interstate 70. Therefore, it is a nice quiet place to spend the night. Shortly after setting up the Cool Nana coach, Jane makes us an enjoyable meal of Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and carrots. The next morning, we wake to downed tree branches and a closed, flooded roadway, blocked by road cones. Seems like it rained most of the night, but we slept right through it. Park personnel are on hand clearing the only road in and out of the campground area. Jane even pitches in and removes some of the road cones so we can get through. But don't tell anybody, huh? Our destination today is Omaha, Nebraska, a 6 to 7 hour, 330-mile drive.
If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and help grow our channel. We continue west on Interstate 70 and pass by Kansas City, another great city we toured on our 2020 trip. I'll post a link below to our Kansas City visit video. We've been very lucky today with regards to traffic in two of Missouri's busiest and largest cities, St. Louis and Kansas City, where we leave Interstate 70 and turn north on Interstate 29. Interstate 29 runs from Kansas City, Missouri at a junction with Interstate 35 and Interstate 70 to the Canadian-U.S. border near Pembina, North Dakota. The road follows the course of three major rivers, all of which form the borders of U.S. states. The southern portion of Interstate 29 closely parallels the Missouri River from Kansas City northward to Sioux City, Iowa, where it crosses and then parallels the Big Sioux River. For the northern third of the highway, it closely follows the Red River of the north. Major cities that Interstate 29 connects include, from south to north, Council Bluffs, Iowa, Sioux City, Iowa, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, and Grand Forks, North Dakota. Today we'll cross the river just outside of Council Bluffs, Iowa, crossing into Omaha, Nebraska, and we'll camp at the Lake Cunningham Park campground. As we approach Council Bluffs, we begin seeing road closure signs,
detours, and remnants of some severe recent flooding. Council Bluffs was designated by President Abraham Lincoln as the official starting point of the Transcontinental Railroad, which was completed in 1869. The official Mile Zero start is at 21st Street and 9th Avenue, which is now marked by a large gold spike. As we approach our turnoff for Interstate 680, half of the divided highway is flooded and closed, forcing eastbound and westbound traffic to share the eastbound lanes.
Take exit 61B on the right to I-680 West.
A light rain continues to fall, giving us concern if the neighboring roadway flooding will have a chance to subside overnight. At present, Interstate 29 is closed, and it is our only available route to connect with Interstate 90 in South Dakota. We cross the Missouri River into Omaha, Nebraska, and the rain magically stops. The sun is actually shining and gives us hope that tomorrow might be okay after all. We arrive at the Cunningham Lake Campground and discover a beautiful, well-manicured campground on the shores of the gorgeous Cunningham Lake. The perfectly level concrete pads appear to be brand new. The sites are spacious and have ample tree coverage. Our Starlink receives strong signals for television, but being in proximity of two major cities, over-the-air television is excellent as well. We wouldn't mind spending a week here, base camping to see the surrounding areas, but that is for perhaps another time, as we are determined to continue on to South Dakota and Alaska. Setting up is as simple as backing into the space and plugging in our electric cord. We have plenty of fresh water in our tank, and our waste tanks are practically empty, so there's no need to hook up. The air is cool and the sun is setting as we enjoy a nice beef stew dinner in the Cool Nana coach and enjoy some relaxing television afterwards. Lake Cunningham is a 390-acre lake surrounded by a 1,050-acre park and is located in north-central Omaha, Nebraska. The lake was constructed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for flood control and recreation, and it was opened to the public in 1977. The next morning, we return east on Interstate 680 to Iowa and Interstate 29 and find one lane open in each direction. There is extensive flooding on both sides of the interstate, but the roadway has been cleared, creating huge piles of flood debris alongside the roadway. The Highway Department has done an excellent job getting and keeping this important road artery open for traffic. We make the decision to not head south to the I-80 detour through Nebraska and rather continue north on Interstate 29 to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to connect with Interstate 90 West. It looks like we're going to make it to the Buffalo Gap National Grasslands after all. Please join us on our next episode as we continue our journey to Alaska, driving across the entire state of South Dakota, passing by the famous Corn Palace and stopping off at the Owakama Rest Area and the Dignity Statue on Jane and Steve's Golden Anniversary Adventure, The Return to Alaska.
We hope you enjoyed traveling with us on our journey to Alaska, and hope you'll join us on our next episode of our golden anniversary adventure, The Road to Alaska.